Hello friends, and welcome to the Sunny Valley Adventures children's book series that teaches the Ten Commandments, and we have a final book on Jesus being the Good Shepherd. Today I will be reading from the book that we have of Jesus being the Good Shepherd. It's a great adventure that shows us that God loves us, that we were created to be united with God and love forever. But we all, like sheep, have gone astray, each to his or her own way. And whenever we finally realize that we're lost because we don't have God in our life, we can turn to God in our hearts and call on Him. And He'll rescue us from living a life without Him. He'll come to live in our hearts and we become His children. And one day, we'll get to live with Him forever in heaven. So I hope you enjoy this story of Jesus rescuing a lost sheep. If you have your book, then please read along with me. But if you don't, then just sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. We start from the beginning, that God made everything, and that He is the shepherd, the Lord and King of kings. He makes His sheep to hear His voice and live their lives with Him. But sheep are sheep that wander off their own way into sin. And so the shepherd saves the sheep and does so with great love, so they can always live with Him in heaven up above. Now Archibald was fast at work when the text alert came through. An urgent message for Thurston Owl. We're on our way to you. It's Millie, Annie, and Mary Lee with news that's quite a shock. We hopped aboard the 109 and left the station dock. A sheep is lost. She wandered off. It continued on in bold. We'll be there soon. We think high noon. Please help us look, it told. He grabbed his cell phone, hat, and horn and ran to Sunny Church, where Thurston Owl said, "Ring the bell to call our friends to search." Dong, dong, dong. They gathered at the station as the train puffed steam to stop. Then Will tugged on the big air horn and the boxcar door was dropped. Toot, toot. Then Millie, Annie, and Mary Lee said hi to everyone and said the sheep had wandered off from Jesus, God's dear Son. They prayed and asked the Lord for help and came up with a plan. Let's go out searching 2 by 2 and find her. Yes, we can. Annie left with Thurston Owl. I hope we find her soon. They scanned the ground, yes, all around, from the big hot air balloon. Annie said, her name is Grace, named after God's great favor. That's what she needs because she's lost. She needs the Lord to save her. Mary Lee and Bobby Bear hopped in his motorboat and gave it gas to go real fast and traveled up the coast. Mary Lee said, Bobby Bear, we need God in our life. When we believe He is and lives, we see that He's the light. Millie dumped her duffel bag and said to Archibald, I brought my high-tech hearing gear to have in case she calls. They took the gear and put it on to climb up Sunny Hill, to listen out for Grace's call, a whisper or a shrill. Wyatt pumped the rail car and Will looked round about, while bouncing on a pogo stick he thought would help him out. Wyatt said, keep hopping, Will, and look way down the track. I think Fred Fox might look for her to have her for a snack. It's true, Fred Fox was scheming a big, bad, sneaky plan to tempt all sheep to wander off and catch them if he can. This time, his plan was different, to use the worldwide news to say that what the shepherd says is really not the truth. Grace soon forgot the shepherd and went out on her own to be with Fred, just like he said, on the news, TV, and phone. But Jesus, the great shepherd, was not surprised at all. He told the three, "Go look for me to save Grace from her fall." The search teams kept on searching as they all looked high and low, and Fred Fox learned of long-lost Grace from calls on the radio. Fred Fox's plan was working to tempt sheep to his trap. He ran and hid on Lookout Point, marked home on Grace's map. It wasn't long when Grace appeared and squealed, "I just can't wait," unpacked her sack and grabbed a snack and said, "This is just great." Fred Fox jumped from the bushes and Grace let out a scream. She cried, "Oh no, a big bad wolf." Fred said, "A fox, you mean." Millie heard the frantic call and sent out the alarm and told the search teams where to go to save poor Grace from harm. Annie cheered as Thurston tugged the big hot air balloon. And Mary Lee said, "Hurry, please, we need to get there soon." Wyatt grabbed a pogo stick and left the tracks with Will. They headed straight for Lookout Point that sits up on the hill. Fred Fox had poor Grace cornered on a ledge that was so grim. He sprang for her, but she hopped the curb and landed on a limb. Grace cried, "Jesus, save me! I want you to shepherd me." And suddenly, Fred Fox looked scared and turned around to flee. Why, there stood the great shepherd, and he reached out with his staff and drew up Grace and kissed her face and laid her on his back. Suddenly there was a cheer as the search teams gathered round. When lost sheep call on Jesus Christ, he comes and they are found. The end. Well, I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy The Good Shepherd with me today. The great adventure that teaches us that when lost sheep call on Jesus Christ, he comes and they are found. If you would like to learn more about the books, then please go to the website sunnyvalleyadventures.com, where you can learn more about our work, or you can learn more about the series of books. Please remember to like us and subscribe so you can be updated on any new videos. And please share this with any of your friends who might like the stories. So God bless you, and I look forward to sharing with you real soon another story from Sunny Valley Adventures.